Ma guardi, io mio
My brother
fratello era
was
dirigente
a
politico
national
nazionale delle
executive of
Democrazie
the Christian
Cristiane, poi
Democrat Party.
presidente
He
della
was
regione in
president of the
Sicilia nel
Sicilian region when in
1980 è stato
1980
assassinato dalla
he was
mafia perché
assassinated
ne
by the
contrastava
Mafia
gli
because he
interessi
was
e gli
opposing their
influenze.
interests and their influence.
E questo
This
naturalmente
obviously,
eravamo molto legati,
we were
ha
very close,
colpito
is something
molto,
which was
anche per
a
questo, ma
great
non
blow
soltanto
for
per
me.
questo.
Because of this, but
Sono
not
sempre
only
stato
because of this, I've
convinto
always been
che quello della
convinced
lotta alla mafia
that
sia un tema
fighting the
centrale e
Mafia is a
decisivo.
central and a decisive issue.
La coscienza civile
Civil
è molto
awareness
cresciuta contro la
against
mafia in
the
Italia
Mafia
e in
has grown a
Sicilia.
great deal in Italy and in Sicily.
Si sono ottenuti
We
risultati
have
molto
achieved
importanti,
important results,
anche
also
grazie all'azione
thanks
di
to the
tanti
action of
siciliani che
many
si sono impegnati
Sicilians
contro la mafia
who
con coraggio,
acted against
alcuni
the
venendo
Mafia very
assassinati.
bravely, many of whom were murdered.
Vorrei
And I
ricordare
would
che
like to
persone di
recall
grande
that
stima
people who are
generale come
greatly
Giovanni
respected, like
Falcone
Giovanni
o Paolo
Falcone
Borsellino
or
erano
Paolo
siciliani,
Borsellino, were
come lo
Sicilians,
erano
as
tanti
were
altri
many other
magistrati,
members of the
agenti delle forze di
judiciary,
polizia,
members of the police
giornalisti, uomini
forces,
politici,
journalists,
sindacalisti,
politicians,
che si sono
unionists,
battuti con
who
coraggio
fought
contro la
bravely
mafia,
against the Mafia and
divenendo vittime,
became
venendo
victims
assassinati.
of the Mafia.
Però
But
questa
this
azione, questi
action,
impegni,
this
questo coraggio,
commitment,
questi
this
sacrifici hanno
bravery, these
provocato una crescita della
sacrifices
pubblica
led
opinione contro
to
la mafia.
a surge in public opinion against the Mafia.
Mr. President, I'm sure it's hard to talk about this, but the way your brother was killed was brazen. I think they came up to his car and fired directly at him. And you were there at the very end. I believe he died in your arms. Can you tell me about that moment, that day?
Ma non l'ho
Well,
mai fatto,
it's
per la verità.
something I've never done, actually.
Lui stava
He was
uscendo era nella sua
he was in
auto,
his car
stava andando a
and he
messa
was
con
going to
con
mass
sua moglie e i suoi
with his
figli,
wife and his children,
si è avvicinato un killer
and
che
a assassin approached the car and shot him, despite the fact that the wife of my brother was trying to protect his head with her hands, and she was also wounded. I was immediately called by one of my nephews, and I went down straight away, and I took him to the hospital, but there was no chance of saving him. He was already dead. And this obviously is a memory which is very painful for me.